Hey guys, welcome back. King Dro here. So today I'm going to be showing you how to do the Ice Queen on Ragnarok, the boss. Now, this area will get you lots of death worm horns, which is what you use to tame mantises. Also, there's a bunch of loot crates. Very simple thing to do. You will need a full set of pretty decent fur. You can also eat the soup that gives you more hypothermia. You're also going to need a Thalico or a medium-sized dino, and a flyer. I prefer to use wyverns. And then you also need a Rex or a Giga to kill the queen herself. Where the video started, I always leave a skiff there or a wyvern. Now, if you don't have a skiff, then you can just leave a wyvern there. And that is because when you exit the cave, that's where you're going to exit. So you can keep doing this in a circle. When you stop in the exit, you put all your loot inside of the wyvern or the skiff. Then, now I'm flying to the entrance where it starts. Just so you're aware, when you enter this cave, there is a little bit of a lag in the rendering of the cave. It always happens, so don't get worried that you've crashed. Then, once you get inside, there's actually a bunch of loot crates just on the inside of this cave. It's usually either yellow or blue generally. So there's three or four crates here. Another tip to let you guys know, these bears are cave bears. They are much higher level, like 300 plus. They do hurt, so please be careful if you're using like a smaller dino to fly, like a snow owl or something. It will wreck your bird. Even with a wyvern, it does take a decent amount of damage to kill them. Now, just because it's a blue crate doesn't mean you're not going to get anything good. Remember that the blue crate also can drop things like club blueprints and even pick blueprints. So always open them up, you never know. I got a club out of one of these, and remember that the club can be used for the mantis to knock out things. So a good blueprint can certainly be useful for you. Alright, so then you're going to go inside of this cave here. And there's going to be like a invisible barrier that you can't go past. So at this point, you're going to land, and then you're going to pod your bird. Alright, so once that's potted, you're going to go down this little area. There's going to be a crawl space that you have to go through. Don't unpod your dino right after the crawl space. I will let you know when a good time is to do that. So when you get to the crawl space, it usually tells you if the boss is available. However, the boss can be sometimes glitched, and it might actually be down there. Now, the problem with official is some people will like to leave their Giga down there on aggressive. So as soon as you get near it, the death worm will spawn, and then the Giga instantly kills it, so you never get a chance to. So hopefully your server that you play on isn't going to be an issue for you. Okay, so at this point, this is where you're going to unpod your dino. It could be like a bear. Thalicos work great. Even a Deinonychus. The problem with the Deinonychus is they have very crappy weight, and deathworm horns are very heavy. So that's why I like to go with either a bear or a Thalico. I prefer Thalico because they are more agile. They can jump and such. Alright, so when you see like the cloud of smoke and you can actually hear the rumbling of the deathworm coming, they go down very easily. Now, before the ability to unpod dinos in here, you would generally use shotguns and a shield to block. But now that we can unpod dinos, this is so much easier. Now, you can get quite a few spawn in here. Now, if you run around in circles and you come back to an area, they generally do respawn. So if you're just trying to farm horns, this is what you would do. Now there's gonna be quite a few of these drops even before the queen arrives. There's at least 3 or 4 crates in here that are kind of a little hidden, but they can be either red or they can be yellow. And the loot crates are, I believe, deep sea crates and also the cave ones. They rotate between the two, so the loot's always gonna be random. All right, so the next part of the cave is kind of hidden. It's like this little tiny narrow passageway, so you gotta be real careful to make sure you find it properly. If you turn left there, that takes you back to the beginning. You don't want that. You want to just keep going the way that I'm going, and then you're gonna come across like a waterfall kind of area. That's gonna bring you to the next area, just before the queen. All right, so we have another crate over here, and then we're gonna circle back around, and you're gonna be at the top of waterfall. Now, at this point, there's a barrier. If once you go through the barrier, there's no return. So you're gonna go all the way down the waterfall, and hopefully you land in the water. You should. I never had an issue, but you never know. So once you land in the water, this is just before the queen. Now, you have to pod your dino once you get on the ledge because there's another barrier. So you pod your dino, you get past the barrier, then you unpod your Giga or your Rex or whatever dino you prefer to use while you're in here. Alright, so she respawned. I got back on the Giga because I was actually about to go back home, and then she happened to spawn. So here we are. She literally takes 4 or 5 bites from a very old Giga, and she goes down really easily. You can actually even use like a Megatherium. The Philo I had could have done it. I just thought a Giga would just be that much faster, that's all. Alright, so now there's a bunch more loot crates in here. There's 3. And then at this point, after you've collected your loot crates, there's a barrier up ahead. That leads to an artifact. And then to your right, there's like an ice shield. You have to break the ice shield to be able to get out of the cave. So I did fail to mention this earlier, but you actually need something to break the ice shield. I use a stone pick, hatchet, whatever it is. You just need something, or else you can't just punch it and you can't just chomp it. Worst case scenario, you might have to kill yourself and then respawn, come back with the appropriate gear. So make sure you bring that pick or hatchet. Okay, so here's the ice shield I was telling you about. Once you break it, then you can walk your dino. This tunnel does get narrow. You are going to have to pod your dino again. So at this point, you're going to take all the stuff out of it and pod your dino. and you're gonna come across a water area. You're gonna have to swim. At the end, there's a waterfall. You're gonna have to jump and fall down. Uh, do your best to be in the center so you land in the water, not on a ledge, and potentially kill yourself. So when you get to the bottom, you can swim out, and you're at that starting point where I left my skiff. Now, be forewarned, there are things like piranhas, there's spinos, there's a lot of aggressive stuff here. So either have a way to defend yourself. You can also unpod your dino if you have it on you. I actually almost died here because I didn't have stamina, and luckily I was able to mount the Thalico. So make sure that you also have a good amount of stamina before you actually jump, so that way you don't get yourself in a position like I did here. Now, if you don't pod your dino, you won't be able to get past this spot up ahead because there's another barrier. So make sure that you pod your dino before you get in the water. As you enter the exit area, you're going to lag a little bit. That's normal. Now, you're going to see that I'm going to rubber band quite a bit here. That's not normal. That's just artificial clusters. Terrible lag. So at this point, you drop off the gear when you're done, and then basically you can repeat the process. All in all, the queen gives you 20 horns each. Ice male queen, death worm gives you 1 horn. So you can get a lot of horns very, very, very quickly. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed my video on the Ice Queen, and I really appreciate all of your support. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. I will be doing a giveaway pretty soon. I hope you have a nice day, and I'll see you guys next time.